Every bottle of ketchup begins long before it reaches a kitchen shelf. Before the flavor, before the factory, before the recipe, there is a seed. A seed planted in quiet fields, nurtured by farmers who understand that great taste starts with great tomatoes. This is the story of how a simple fruit becomes one of the world's most beloved condiments. Ketchup factories don't use ordinary tomatoes. They grow specialized varieties, thicker, sweeter, richer in color. Roma and Heinz hybrid tomatoes are selected for their low water content and natural umami flavor. From soil composition to irrigation timing, every detail is controlled. Because consistency is not an accident, it's engineered. As the weeks pass, the plants strengthen. Sunlight feeds them, water supports them, and the soil anchors them. Farm supervisors monitor plant health daily. Any imbalance, too much heat, too little water, early pests, can affect the final taste of the ketchup. Then, the transformation begins. Green tomatoes slowly blush into shades of orange, then deep crimson red. This is the peak moment when the tomato holds maximum flavor, natural sugar, and color. Harvesting too early or too late can ruin an entire batch. When the tomatoes reach perfect ripeness, the clock starts ticking. Giant mechanical harvesters sweep through the fields, collecting tons of tomatoes in minutes. They must reach the processing plant within hours before natural enzymes begin to break down their freshness. For ketchup makers, freshness is everything. With the harvest complete, trucks loaded with fresh tomatoes race toward the factory. The journey must be fast, efficient, and temperature-controlled to protect the fruit's natural quality. As the trucks arrive at the processing plant, the transformation from raw fruit to thick, rich ketchup officially begins. Here, nothing goes inside unless it passes strict inspection. A single load can contain thousands of tomatoes, but every tomato must be perfect. The tomatoes are unloaded into massive water flumes, long channels filled with circulating clean water. This water bath cushions the tomatoes to prevent bruising and gently moves them toward the first inspection point. Before processing begins, every tomato faces its first major test. AI-powered cameras scan for defects, rot, damage, overripeness. Trained inspectors remove anything that doesn't meet company standards. Only grade A tomatoes continue. Once the tomatoes pass the first inspection, they enter one of the most important stages of the entire process: washing. Here, powerful water jets remove every trace of dirt, dust, and field residue. Any impurity, no matter how small, can alter the quality, color, or flavor of the final ketchup. So this step is not just cleaning, it's precision. As the tomatoes move forward, specialized machines remove stones, stems, leaves, and anything the harvesters picked up from the fields. Even a small pebble can damage the machinery that comes next. This is a mechanical dance. Magnets, filters, screens, and gravity all working together in perfect harmony. Next, the tomatoes enter a hot water blancher. This short burst of heat loosens the skin, softens the flesh, and prepares the fruit for crushing. Blanching preserves color, stops enzymatic reactions, and protects the natural flavor of the tomato. With the tomatoes softened, they move into large mechanical crushers. Here, rotating blades break the fruit down into a thick, pulpy mixture. The crusher doesn't just smash, it opens the cells of the tomato, releasing natural juices, fibers, and deep red pigments. The crushed pulp is now heated to deactivate enzymes that could darken the ketchup. Preheating protects color, reduces bacterial load, and prepares the pulp for the next critical stage: separation. At this point, the tomato mixture still contains seeds, skins, and fibrous pieces. To create the smooth, velvety texture ketchup is known for, the pulp passes through fine mash refiners. Only the purest tomato essence makes it through. The refined pulp now enters a vacuum evaporator. Under reduced pressure, water evaporates at a low temperature, thickening the pulp into a concentrated tomato paste. This process creates the rich, deep flavor that forms the foundation of ketchup. The concentrated paste is then transferred into giant aseptic tanks. These sterile, oxygen-controlled chambers keep the tomato paste fresh for blending. Inside these tanks, the paste waits for its transformation into the ketchup we know. Ketchup is not just tomato paste. Its signature flavor comes from a delicate balance of spices, each measured with absolute precision. Factories use a blend that often includes onion powder, garlic powder, white pepper, cayenne, allspice, and cloves. These spices are ground, sifted, and checked for aroma before mixing. Next comes vinegar, the heart of ketchup's bright, tangy flavor. Before it enters the recipe, the vinegar is filtered, heated, and tested for acidity. Even a slight change in pH can affect the final taste, thickness, and shelf life. The sweetness of ketchup is carefully controlled. Factories typically use refined sugar or liquid glucose syrup to create a smooth, consistent sweetness. This sugar mixture is dissolved in hot water to ensure that it blends perfectly with the tomato paste. Salt enhances flavor and helps preserve the ketchup naturally. A small amount of natural preservatives, such as citric acid, may be added to stabilize the color and protect freshness. Every ingredient is tracked, measured, and logged. Now, the heart of the process begins. The tomato paste, vinegar, sweetener, and spices enter the master blending tank. Massive stainless steel arms mix the ingredients slowly, evenly, and consistently. This is where ketchup begins to take its final shape. The blended mixture is now cooked under controlled heat. This cooking stage deepens the flavor, dissolves the spices, and thickens the ketchup to its iconic texture. Temperature, time, and air pressure are monitored constantly. Even a small deviation changes the final result. To protect the flavor and color, ketchup is cooked under vacuum pressure. This allows it to thicken at lower temperatures, preserving the natural brightness of the tomatoes while preventing burning or caramelization. To achieve the smooth, perfect texture found in every bottle, the ketchup is pumped through a high-pressure homogenizer. This machine breaks down any remaining particles, ensuring that the final ketchup is creamy, uniform, and lump-free. Once the ketchup reaches the right thickness, it must be cooled immediately. Rapid cooling locks in the flavor, stops further cooking, and prepares it for sterilization and bottling. Before entering the bottle, the ketchup passes through heat sterilization. This step protects it from bacteria, preserves freshness, and ensures a long shelf life without affecting taste. The ketchup now enters the bottling line, where precision machinery prepares each bottle for filling. This stage ensures that every container meets strict hygiene and quality standards. Before any filling begins, every bottle goes through an automatic washing unit. High-pressure water and sterilized air remove all impurities, ensuring perfect cleanliness. In the filling zone, precision nozzles dispense the exact amount of ketchup into every bottle. The flow is consistent, controlled, and engineered for zero waste. Once filled, the bottles move to the capping system. Here, airtight caps are applied and sealed to preserve freshness, flavor, and safety. The sealed bottles now enter the labeling station. Automatic rollers apply labels with perfect alignment, giving each bottle its brand identity. In the packaging area, labeled bottles are grouped, arranged, and placed into cartons. Automated arms ensure fast, safe, and uniform packing. The packed cartons are transported to a temperature-controlled warehouse. Here, the ketchup is stored safely until distribution begins. Finally, the finished product leaves the facility. Trucks carrying thousands of bottles head toward markets, stores, and homes around the world.